The Bicycle Dream. In the sun-drenched village of Maple Glen, where children chased butterflies through golden fields and birds sang from the orchard trees, lived a boy named Leo Thompson. He was 11 years old and had the heart of a dreamer. His family lived in a modest cottage at the edge of town, where the roads turned to gravel and the sky stretched wide and blue. Leo's world was full of imagination. While other kids played with toys and gadgets, Leo built castles from cardboard, drew maps of imaginary lands, and believed the clouds carried secret messages. He found adventure in the rustling of leaves and magic in the flutter of wings. But above all his dreams, one stood taller than the rest. Leo wanted a bicycle. Not just any bicycle, but a shiny red one with silver handles, sleek tires, and a bell that chimed like wind chimes. He had seen it once in Mr. Weller's shop window, and from that day it lived in his heart. The bicycle seemed to glow even when the sun wasn't out. It had chrome fenders that reflected the sky, and when the breeze blew, the ribbons on its handlebars danced like laughter. Leo would pass by Mr. Weller's shop every day on his way to school, slowing down just enough to get a longer look at the red bicycle. He imagined what it would feel like to grip the handles, to push the pedals, to fly down the country road with his arms spread wide. In his mind he rode past meadows and over hills, free as the wind. But Leo's family didn't have money for luxuries. His father worked long hours at the lumber mill, his shirt always smelling of pine and sweat. His mother sewed clothes for neighbors and did mending work to make ends meet. They had enough for food, for school books, and for love, but not for a new bicycle. Still, Leo dreamed. One evening, after dinner, Leo asked his parents, "Do you think I could ever get a bicycle?" He said it quietly, tracing circles on the wooden table. His parents exchanged a glance. His father cleared his throat. "Maybe one day, when things are better." His mother reached over and squeezed his hand. "Dreams are like seeds, Leo. If you take care of them, they might just grow." Leo took her words to heart. From that day on, he decided he wouldn't wait for the bicycle to come to him. He would work for it. The very next morning, he began asking around the village, offering to do small jobs. He fetched water for the old Mrs. Talbot, who lived near the river. He carried firewood for Mr. Granger, the grumpy man who lived alone with 3 cats. He dusted and organized shelves at the dusty old bookstore, even though it made him sneeze. He read stories to the children at the bakery every Saturday morning while their parents did their shopping. He even helped Farmer Jacobs gather eggs and clean chicken coops. Every coin he earned went into a glass jar he kept under his bed. He labeled it, in bold, hand-drawn letters, "Bicycle Fund." It became his treasure. At night, when the world was quiet, he would pull it out and shake it gently, listening to the soft clink of coins. Weeks turned into months. The jar grew heavier. His hands grew rougher, his shoes wore thinner, but his smile never faded. With every drop of sweat, with every chore completed, he felt closer to his dream. He started keeping a notebook where he tracked how much he had saved and how much more he needed. He even began studying bicycles, how they worked, how to care for them, and how to ride safely. Mr. Weller, noticing Leo's interest, once gave him an old magazine with pages of bicycles from around the world. Leo read it like scripture. But dreams, like the weather, are not always sunny. One evening, dark clouds gathered over Maple Glen. Thunder rumbled in the distance. Then came the storm, fierce and wild. The wind howled through the trees, the river overflowed, and heavy rains pounded the village for hours. Trees fell, rooftops leaked, and roads were washed out. Leo's home didn't escape the damage. The roof began to leak in 3 places. Their bedroom wall grew damp. Part of the garden fence collapsed. Their savings, what little they had to go into repairs. Leo watched as his father worked to cover the roof with a tarp. His mother sat at the table, looking over the bills with tired eyes. He quietly walked to his room, pulled out his glass jar, and stared at it. It was nearly full. He sat on the floor, holding it in his lap. He could almost feel the bicycle beneath him, the breeze, the speed, the freedom. But then he thought about the water dripping onto his mother's sewing machine, the cracked wall in their bedroom. The next morning, without a word, he carried the jar into the kitchen and placed it on the table. "For the roof," he said simply. His mother looked at him, her eyes filling with tears. "Leo, your dream." He smiled. "It can wait. The house can't." She hugged him tightly. "You're a good boy. A very good boy." Word of Leo's act spread quietly through the village. The baker told the butcher, who told the librarian, who told the schoolteacher, who told the mayor. Everyone remembered the boy who had helped them without ever asking for more. The boy who read to their children, carried their packages, and swept their porches. The boy who gave up his dream to keep his family warm and safe. Then came a plan. One Saturday morning, as Leo returned from helping at the market, he noticed something unusual in the village square. People were gathered in a circle, smiling and whispering. At the center stood Mr. Weller, holding something that made Leo's breath catch in his throat. It was the red bicycle from the shop window. "For Leo Thompson," Mr. Weller announced, his voice echoing through the square, "who reminds us that dreams are not just about getting, but about giving." Leo's eyes widened. His feet froze. His heart thundered in his chest. He looked at his parents, who stood nearby, beaming with pride. He stepped forward slowly, almost afraid the moment would vanish like a dream. The crowd parted for him. As he touched the bicycle's handlebars, his fingers trembled. It was real. The paint shone in the sunlight. The bell chimed when he touched it. The seat felt soft under his hands, and it had a small card hanging from the handlebar. "To Leo, from a village that believes in you." The village erupted in applause. Leo looked around and saw smiles everywhere. Faces he knew, faces he had helped, people who had come together for him. Later that day, Leo rode through the fields, his red bicycle gleaming in the sun. The wind tugged at his shirt, the bell sang, and behind him the village waved and cheered. He rode past the river, past the old mill, down the gravel road, and into the fields of wildflowers. That night, as he leaned his bicycle against the cottage wall, he whispered Thank you." His father patted his shoulder. "You earned it, son." His mother kissed his forehead. "You taught us all what dreams really mean." In Maple Glen, they still tell the story of a boy and his dream. Not just of a bicycle, but of kindness, effort, and the magic that happens when a heart stays true. Years later, when Leo grew up, he opened a small workshop in the village. He fixed bicycles for children, taught them how to ride, and gave away parts for free to those in need. Above his shop door hung a wooden sign: "Dreams are wheels. Keep them turning." Children loved visiting Leo's shop. They came not just for repairs, but for stories. Leo told them about his red bicycle, about the rainy night, and the kindness of the village. He let them ring the bell on his old bike, now hung proudly on the wall. Parents trusted Leo with more than just bikes. They saw in him someone who believed in effort and care. Every child who left his shop took home more than fixed wheels, they took hope. And every time a child passed Mr. Weller's old shop window, they would pause, look at the spot where the red bicycle once stood, and remember that some dreams are built, not from gold, but from love, patience, and hope.